Why wouldn't we tell y'all that we in the military, the first response y'all say is we fighting for a country that don't care about us? Like, when I tell y'all we don't give a damn about what y'all talking about, y'all don't be having nothing going on in life, and then y'all want to judge people in the military. Fuck me.
Yeah, and that nigga saying that now because he in his comfortable car on the shores of America. You know, before I get into this lesson, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hakudash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, the great millstone, rule web, and great example to his younger brothers in the truth. And peace and blessings to the hopefully lit. And Lord willing, this edifying listen. You know, and I just played that little clip. I got another one too from the brother Arrows of Indignation. You know, that's kind of contradicting what this nigga saying from somebody who was in the military, ex-military, no, you know. But you know, that's just a YN. And hey, be how it gets, man. The more you dumb niggas join the military, the better it is. Shit, judgment. It's all judgment, man. And at the end of the day, you people don't trust and believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. You are one with your enemy, joining his military. You joining this nigga military. You making all kind of covenants. You pledging your allegiance and all that. You know, just like joining this man's police force, his, you know, government or anything like that. As far as being officers and shit like that, you know. Ultimately, man, if you in the truth, you should be trying to get up out that type shit. You know, if you wake up to the truth and you was a part of it, man, get up out that shit. You know, you know too much to continue on in that shit, man. You know this nigga ain't got your best, you know, 'cause we all was in the world. But once you realize the truth, you should be running from this nigga. You should be as far away from anything to do with this system as possible, man. As far as serving it and all that old bullshit. You know, but Jake done. Jake decided Israelites are through. But when they put his ass on that goddamn Black Hawk or that goddamn whatever kind of airplane they fly them niggas overseas with and drop his ass off in Jordan or Kuwait or, you know, Israel or wherever they drop them niggas off at, man. Hey, he ain't gonna have that same mindset. You know, he gonna be saying, I ain't signed up for this. I just wanna go home. Hey man, when the Lord say the mighty men gonna cry bitterly, you think that shit a game? You know? The mighty men of Babylon have born to fight. This shit gonna get real. And you can say that when you're in the comfort of your goddamn, you know, in the comfort of America, so to speak. When they ship your ass off, let's see if you make another TikTok or whatever kind of video, another short talking shit.
Why wouldn't we tell y'all that we in the military, the first response y'all say is we fighting for a country that don't care about us? Like, when I tell
Because ultimately they care about you. You know? A motherfucker try to warn you of impending doom, you're gonna die, man. Every soldier in the military right now is gonna die. Ain't no might, they gonna, but we gonna pull through and things gonna go back to normal and, you know, everything gonna be all good. Nah, no, 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 no. This ain't World War I and this ain't World War II. This the third war that come quickly, man. And guess who gonna appear in the midst of the third war? Yahweh Shem, well, Yahweh Shai. And guess what? All these armies and militaries and what? Guess what they gonna do? They gonna try to fight the Lord, man. And all gonna be perceived as dust and the smell of smoke when the Lord get through with these niggas, man. And all you niggas who are in the army, guess what the Lord gonna do to you? He gonna turn you to smoke. He gonna turn you to smoke, ashes, vapors. He gonna evaporate you niggas, man. He gonna evaporate that goddamn uh, uh, fiber spray off your goddamn forehead. That nigga goddamn got sticky, you know. Yeah. You know that nigga in America. That's why he talking shit. That nigga ain't nowhere near no bombs exploding. Ain't talking shit. They getting a check. But guess what? Esau is gonna send your ass across that water. You don't even fucking work. Hey, you need to be doing some push ups. You look a little frail over there. Squats and shit. You know? Get your goddamn, your feet together. Get ready to run and jump and slide and shit. Climb over walls. Cause your ass gonna get sent to Iran. Ground invasion. They gonna call you up. You know?
Yeah, we don't give a damn about what y'all talking about. Y'all don't be having nothing going on in life, and then y'all want to judge people in the military. Fuck me.
Yeah, and just because how you know people ain't got nothing going on in life when they tell you why would you fight? You know? It's people who got stuff going on. You ain't got nothing going on in life. That's why you join the military. Niggas through, man. But hey, be our guest. I know I don't give a fuck. You know? Hey, we bring warnings to the Israelites. We here to warn our people, you know, to repent and turn back to Yahweh Shem Yahweh say, hey, you wanna fight for your father the devil, then be our guest. You know? Hey, hasta la vista. Goddamn baby. How that shit go? Damn. I know it ain't no hasta la vista, but you can say that it's another one. But whatever. Let's play this one. Well, let's get a couple precepts, because I do got a few. This the book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 16. It say, the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. Now, I know this going into when we come across people, when we bring this truth to them, and they wander out of the way of understanding. But that go for anything, you know, because if we come across a soldier, so we gonna tell them, say, hey, you better get your ass up out the military, you know what I'm saying? Hey, if you wander out of the way of that understanding, you gonna remain where? In the congregation of the dead. And guess what? You ultimately gonna be destroyed, you know, soon. Cause World War III is approaching. It's here, really. It's just gonna continuously intensify, you know. It's gonna continue to intensify. So our people that's wandering out of the way of this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, they gonna remain in the congregation of the dead. You know, the book of the dead. You know, and they gonna be destroyed here in America or in the Middle East or wherever they at around the earth. You know, this the book of Second Ezra, chapter 9 and verse 22. It say, "Let the multitude perish then which were born in vain." So you know this is one of them individuals. This is a 2/3 nigga. You know how you can spot a motherfucker like that motherfucker ain't gonna repent. He one of them. He ain't gonna repent. You know, you got some people. You might repent. You might turn back to your house, but you have a shot. But you got some people you like, nah, this nigga just like that the title of the lesson, meat for the meat grinder. He was part of that multitude that's gonna perish, which were born in vain. It say, let my grape be kept and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect. Going into the elect, the elect men, women, and children, those who believe in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. The Lord say the multitude, 2/3 of Israel, gonna perish that were born in vain, but he gonna keep his grape. You know, the Lord gonna take care. This the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 21. 1 and verse 20, it say, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the street. She crieth in the chief places of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, when you love simplicity, and scorners delight in your scorning, and fools hate knowledge. And all our people are foolish, man. You know? Our people are foolish, man. The children of this world are wiser than the children of light. If you have any kind of wisdom, if you had any kind of prudence about you, the last thing you'll be wanting to be is part of the military. You know? But our people are blinded. Where there's no vision, the people perish. These people don't see what's going on. They don't see the end. You know? They think this shit just another goddamn Iraq war or something, and it's gonna blow over and everything gonna go back to normal, and you know, it ain't. This shit is gonna get out of control. You know, this shit finna get out of control, man. It's already out of control, and they can't get it under control. That's why they still fighting. You know. It says she crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, and this wisdom that's crying out in the chief places of concourse, and the openings of the gates, is going into the prophets, pouring out their hearts, you know. We're pouring out the spirit of the Lord unto the earth, man. You know, that wisdom. And the Lord say what? He loveth none but those who dwell with wisdom. So if you don't obtain wisdom, then the Lord ain't fucking with you, man. Verse 23, it say, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you, because I have called and ye have refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. It say, but ye have set at naught all my counsels, and would none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamities, and I will mock you when your fear cometh. Yeah, and this nigga fear gonna come. Cause you know the nigga like this that came across the Hebrew Israelite. Man, every Israelite, every so-called Negro, for sure. Verse 24, it say, because I have called and you have refused, I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsels, and with none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me, because ultimately all hell gonna break loose. You know, when these people over there, them bombs dropping down and niggas getting their legs and shit, you think them people ain't crying to you, especially you Israelites, man. You know, getting dropped off in the heat of the battle. You think them folks ain't crying to well, you know, they probably calling on Jesus. You think they ain't crying to Jesus Christ and God? You know? You out your mind. There's people over there in the midst of that shit who terrified, man. You know? He's still riding around in his goddamn, I don't know what kind of car it was. I say in his Charger. You know? He's still riding around in his Charger in America. So he talking shit. You know, he just left the barber shop. You know, nigga got a haircut in his fatigues. I'm in the army. I serve my master. I'ma die for my master. Verse 27 say, when your fear cometh as a desolation, and destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. It say, for that they hated knowledge, and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would none of my counsel and despise all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat the fruit of their own ways and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, but the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whosoever hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet of fear and evil. Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you really serving and worshiping Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, you can't be in the military. You gotta get up at this shit. You cannot serve Yahweh Hashem Yahushua in no motherfucking military, man. Cause you're a soldier for you can't. How the hell you gonna be a soldier in two armies? You know, how the fuck you do that? You know, so you know that shit off. I ain't saying he called himself Israelite, but I'm just saying in general. If you know better, you know, if a soldier come across the Hebrew, you gotta let that shit go. You can't be a soldier for Esau and a soldier for Yahweh. You gotta pick one. You know, Egypt or goddamn Yahweh Hashem Yahweh. You know, because all these nations in their military, and that go for any Israelite around the world who in the military. All these countries and nations military are gonna join hand to hand and try to fight against the Lord, man. And if you there, you gonna be a part of joining with them to fight against the, you know, mothership. That's what they gonna call it. But it's gonna be Yahweh Shai, man, in the fathership, invincible, unstoppable, traveling in the greatness of Yahweh's strength. You know. Those chariots ain't nothing to be played with, man. That's real. When you see one of them, you see real power. You know, you don't see all the power of the Lord, but you see some serious power that can't be fucked with. That's why the chariot crashed, and we got aliens in. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. And we knocked one out the air. No, you didn't, nigga. You know. Let's play this other one.
And everybody's broken army. Everybody's poor. Everybody's living check to check. Nobody has money in the army unless you like a high ranking person. Everybody's living check to check. So when they try to get you, well, you gonna make all this money. Yeah. Everybody broke financially in the army. And multiple friends and associates, women they got, men they got, a lot of drug use, a lot of alcoholism, a lot of domestic violence. They don't tell you how many deaths and how many traumatic things you see just in training accidents alone. But there's so much they'll tell you about the racism in there. You can't think for yourself in the army. You have to do whatever they say. You're nothing but a number on their books. You do not get treated like a human being in the army, bro. They do not care about you, especially if you're black, especially if you're a woman. They do not care about you in the army. I joined the army in 2016 at 18 years old. I got out in 2021. So I served almost 5 years, right? I was active duty. And a lot of racism in there. And chauvinism, man. First 3 days, they gave us something to eat, but it wasn't enough, bro. Yeah. Like they gave us something called MRE. You familiar with
MRE?
MRE.
Yep.
They gave us those for the first 3 days, bro.
Wow.
And that's not enough to really fill you up, bro. Decarbonated juice, powdered milk, and add water to it. And they used to call it astronaut food. I had a few friends that was in the army who had came out of prison and they got wavered in, and they said some of this army food, these MREs, is worse than prison food. Crazy.
Ew.
I had waves at the time. My waves are swimming. They cut you bald headed.
Oh, you couldn't even have waves?
Couldn't even have waves in basic training. That's when they condition you and breaking you in to the army, teach you about the army life. The military recruiters specifically shoot for if you are having financial difficulties at home, if you're in a lower economic class or poor. But I don't advise any black man or black woman to join the army, especially black women. If you're black, Latino, Hispanic, low GPA. They look for folks who are prone to stuff like that. But that's why I went. I had a buddy. A lot of people messed his last name up. His last name wasn't Thompson. It was Tompkins. But we went by last names in the Army, right? 1921 at the most. That brother was an excellent swimmer. He was missing for about 3 days. Every time a soldier goes missing, we stop what we're doing and we search the installation or the military post or basically the military grounds, right? It didn't make sense when they found him and said he drowned. Yeah, like I get a little check every month, but bro, it's not even close to being enough to pay for what I endured in the Army. I wasn't Brother Jamal. I didn't know nothing about black liberation, pivotal noble black figures. I knew nothing about the significance and the heritage of our people, our unique powers and abilities. I didn't know who I was, so I was more prone and susceptible to allow somebody else to push me to do something that was outside of myself. So that's why I ended up going, yeah.
Through. Jake through. You know, but Jake still through. And all you people who was a part of the military and you still getting them checks and shit, if you able-bodied, guess what they gonna fucking do? Hey, brrr, brrr, we're gonna call your ass back up. Oh, we need you. Nigga, we need you. You know? We need your expertise. You been here before. Shit, we've been paying you all these years and you've been just chilling. Nah, we need you. Reactivated. Calling you back in. You know, and it ain't nothing you gonna be able to do. You gonna have to go back in. Or go AWOL. Get locked up. Or, you know, just be outcast in society, so to speak. However they do it. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26 and verse 28. It reads, "There be two things that grieve my heart, and the third make me angry. A man of war that suffer poverty." You know? And that's what he was saying. People in the military live paycheck to paycheck. And he said he was active duty. You know? So you a man of war, whether you fought a war or not. You active duty in the war, then America be running around the earth, rape, pillaging, you know, these different smaller countries. And these soldiers that go on them different missions, they don't benefit off of that. No, they supposed to they supposed to goddamn divide the spoils, man. You know? They don't supposed to, all that shit don't supposed to just go to the government. No, you supposed to divide the spoils with the soldiers, man. From the women to the land and all that. You know? Them soldiers that fought in these different countries, well, when you win, you can do that. You know, they supposed to have property over there and some more shit, man. You know, houses if they want it and all kind of shit. You know, they come across gold and silver. They supposed to, y'all supposed to divide the spoils. That's what the Lord gonna do, man. You know, the true, you know, the true king, the real governor and ruler, a righteous ruler. You know? And we, you know, men of war. Through the spirit. We ain't in no, you know, we ain't not on no carnal shit. We, you know, prepping and getting ready to fight against Esau. Nah, we ain't training. The Lord gonna protect us, man. But we soldiers for Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. And we war daily, spiritually. And guess what? We ain't suffering. The Lord say, "I know thy poverty, but thou art rich." We laying up our treasures in heaven, so the Lord go protect us, man. The Lord gonna bless us down too when we get delivered. You know, riches above and beyond your greatest imagination. Things that ain't even explainable, man. What the men of the Lord gonna receive. Cause we don't even know. All we know is, you know, what the scriptures say. But we know it's gonna be far greater than anything we can think of. The Lord gonna woo us. It say, "In a man of understanding that are not set by." It say, "In one that returneth from righteousness to sin, the Lord prepares such in one for the sword." So all you people, you know, It say a man of understanding that are not set by, so ain't hearken to, get misused, mistreated. A man of understanding, and then it say a sinner who returned. A righteous, and one that returned from righteousness to sin. Yeah, so people who fell out the truth and went back into the world, hey, the Lord is gonna kill you, man. You're being prepared into the sword. The Lord gonna do you something fucked up, man. It's better that you ain't noticed. It'd been better if you would have never came across being a Hebrew Israelite. The Lord wouldn't do you as he gonna do you. All you Israelites, you men who went back into the world, oh man. And it's sad to say because, we know a lot of shit. I ain't been in truth long, but it's a lot of people that ain't here no more. From when I came in, to now. What they about 7-8 years? 7, if not 7, 8, but 7 going on 8 years, I say that. 7 years going on 8. 2018, 19, 2018, 2019, 20. Yeah, about 7 years in the count. 7 years in the count. Hey, there's a lot of people that ain't here no more. Back in the world, That's scary, man. The Lord gonna fuck them up. But these are the things, it say there be 2 things that grieve my heart, and the third maketh me angry. So those first two things grieve the Lord's heart, and the third make him angry. So any righteous that turn back to sin, oh man. That's why this thing's so scary, because the Lord is not fucking playing. He ain't playing with us either. That's why, hey, ain't no backtracking and plan B's. Hey, you blood in, blood out, nigga. Let me stop bullshit. How the Lord coming though, blood in, blood out, nigga. You done joined this shit. Ain't no leaving this shit. Like the Crips and the Bloods. A nigga die for that. Why not die for this? And we ain't doing nothing wicked to die. We gonna die for righteousness' sake if we have to go that route. The Bloods and the Crips, they doing evil. They doing wickedness. We just teaching righteousness. We chatting down Babylon. But that's pretty much the point. Lord willing, this edifying. I want to end it giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Hakodash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Rule where been a great example to his young brothers in the truth. Peace and blessings to the whole elect. Shalom. Kwame Yashala and above. Shalom.